11 shocking discoveries in the swamp reveal mind-blowing mysteries that stunned archaeologists. For centuries, swampy lands have held countless secrets that humans have yet to fully uncover. But have you ever wondered, is what we know about these areas really complete? Why are swamps, seemingly nothing more than muddy terrain and overgrown vegetation, the source of so many strange and surprising archaeological discoveries? Recently, archaeologists were truly shocked by discoveries they had never seen before, forcing them to reassess everything they thought they knew about the past. Could these be ancient ruins buried beneath the ground, or strange remnants of forgotten civilizations? And why could these discoveries change the way we view human history? In today's video, we will explore 11 unexpected discoveries in swamps, amazing finds that left archaeologists stunned. And who knows, you might be the first to uncover these mysteries. The Boxton Bog Mummy. In 1936, scientists discovered the preserved remains of a young man, aged between 25 and 35, in the Boxton Bog in Varberg, Sweden. The mummy, named Boxton, was remarkably well preserved. Tests revealed that the young man was between 5 feet 7 inches and 5 feet 10 inches tall, with an 8 centimeter by 5 centimeter wound on the right side of his skull, along with 2 large stakes piercing his heart. He was dressed in a woolen medieval tunic with a cloak on top, and his legs were covered by a cloth. Nearby, archaeologists found a fabric bag, a belt, and 2 knives. Upon further investigation, scientists uncovered an intriguing legend. According to the legend, the young man was haunted by the ghost of a deceased soldier. The villagers believed that by tying him up and driving 2 stakes through his heart, they could rid the village of the soldier's vengeful spirit forever. The Ide Girl Mummy. The Ide Girl Mummy, one of the most shocking archaeological discoveries, was found in 1897 in a bog near Ide, Netherlands. It is one of the most famous mummies from ancient times, and researchers determined that she was a young girl, about 16 years old, who lived between 54 BC and 128 AD. When discovered, the mummy was wrapped in a woolen cloak and a neck scarf, indicating she had been well cared for before her death. A notable feature of this discovery was a small wound on her clavicle, but archaeologists confirmed that this was not the direct cause of her death. Instead, through carbon-14 analysis, scientists found that the girl likely suffered from scoliosis, a condition suggesting she endured significant health challenges throughout her short life. Another intriguing theory that captured the attention of researchers is that the girl may have been the victim of an execution as part of ancient sacrificial rituals. These rituals were common in many ancient civilizations, where young people, especially women, were sometimes sacrificed to appease the gods. With this discovery, the White Girl Mummy provides valuable insights into the health and lives of ancient people, as well as offering a glimpse into the religious customs and beliefs of a distant past, where sacrifices may have been an essential part of society. The Alenan warriors. In 2012, Danish archaeologists made a significant archaeological discovery while excavating a bog in the Alenan marshlands, East Jutland. They uncovered the remains of hundreds of warriors who had died in battles over 2,000 years ago, found in a very unique condition. The bones of these warriors were not intact, with many skulls cracked and broken, indicating they had gone through brutal battles and likely suffered severe injuries during the fight. Along with the remains, archaeologists also discovered many ancient weapons, including axes, spears, and battle staffs. These were common tools used in ancient warfare, which helped shed light on the lives and fighting styles of these warriors. However, the cause of their sacrifice remains a major question. These warriors may have perished in a war, but it is also possible that they were sacrificed in ancient rituals, adding an extra layer of mystery to the discovery. To investigate further, researchers conducted additional excavations over a large area of up to 99 hectares surrounding the site. The aim was to piece together the events and discover more clues to explain the warriors' lives, deaths, and the battles they fought in. Archaeologists are also reconstructing the ancient landscape of the bog, hoping to gain a clearer picture of the environment in which the warriors lived and how they fought. The mysterious airplanes. In 1985, in a bog within the dense forests of New Guinea, a 2-engine passenger plane that had disappeared nearly half a century earlier was discovered. What baffled people was that the plane appeared as if it had just landed, looking brand new with no signs of aging or distortion. This silver-glinting aircraft had gone missing 45 years earlier during a flight from Manila, Philippines to Mindanao Island. Inside the plane, researchers found newspapers from the third week of January 1937, Sunday edition. An Indonesian military aviation expert team was immediately dispatched to the scene. After inspecting the new-looking plane, they were astonished and stunned. The department responsible for the investigation ordered an immediate lockdown of the area where the plane was found. At first, the investigators could hardly believe their eyes. The plane's exterior looked pristine, with the body showing no signs of wear. In the sunlight, it gleamed like a mirror. The investigators expected the door to be rusty and hard to open, but to their surprise, the door opened smoothly with the turn of the handle without a squeak or creak. Inside the cabin, there were no signs of passengers, living or dead. However, they found paper cups, cigarette butts, and newspapers from 1937 still not yellowing, as though someone had just been sitting in the plane. In an ashtray, there was a cigarette pack from the 1930s, a brand that was discontinued during World War II. The clothing and hairstyles depicted in the newspapers matched those from the Great Depression era in the United States. In a thermos, there was still hot coffee, which tasted fresh, with no sign of having spoiled. What surprised the investigators the most was the condition of the plane. The aircraft's battery was still fully charged, and turning on the switch made the plane's lights turn on. The fuel tank was nearly full. All these details made the investigators shiver with disbelief. The plane seemed to have made an emergency landing on soft ground in the marsh, which prevented it from being damaged, allowing it to be in a condition that could have allowed it to fly again, just as it did 50 years earlier. Scientists continued to investigate the mystery behind how this long-missing aircraft suddenly reappeared, hoping to eventually uncover the true secret behind this baffling phenomenon. The 5,000-year-old sacrificial remains. A team of archaeologists from the Roskilde Museum recently announced the discovery of human remains in what was once a bog near the town of Stenløse on Zealand Island, northwest of Copenhagen, Denmark. Initially, they found a thigh bone, a lower jaw, along with a few teeth, foot bones, and pelvis. Later, they uncovered the rest of a flint axe and animal bones, indicating that a sacrificial ritual took place about 5,000 years ago, during the Neolithic period. The scientists have not yet determined the gender or age of the deceased, but it is clear that the person did not accidentally fall into the bog. They died as part of a sacrificial process. Archaeologists have long documented the use of bogs as sites for human, animal, and other sacrificial offerings in ancient times. Emil Winther Struve, an archaeologist at the Roskilde Museum, said, "When we found the bone fragments, we thought we were uncovering something really fascinating. It was a special experience. Finding bog remains is a rare occurrence." This is from the early Neolithic period in Denmark. We know that human sacrifice existed in ancient times. We have other examples of this practice. One of the most famous bog bodies, Lindow Man, was also found in Denmark in the 1950s, dating to around 400 BC. In Denmark, it is required that an archaeological survey be conducted before new housing projects are started. For this reason, the bog near Stenløse was drained, revealing the bog body remains and other traces. However, with the arrival of the cold winter, scientists had to wait for the thaw before beginning the next excavation phase. Other parts of the remains were exposed to the elements, and without the protective peat of the bog, have not survived. The study of the teeth will help determine age, and the study of the pelvis will assist in determining gender. The teeth may also provide further information about the identity of the deceased, helping to unravel the reasons behind the sacrificial practice in that period. The 3,000-year-old bog village with a 1-meter monster in the body. The remains of a village built on a bog, miraculously preserved after a fire 3,000 years ago, are helping archaeologists from Cambridge University recreate a surprising picture of what has been called the Pompeii of England. Excavations revealed that the area, called Must Farm in eastern England, was once a large Bronze Age settlement on the bog, with wooden houses built on stilts and boats as the primary means of transportation. 3,000 years ago, a fire completely destroyed the ancient village. but it also inadvertently caused many artifacts and human remains to fall into the deep mud. Since mud is one of the most effective natural preservation environments, many of the artifacts were nearly intact when excavated. What was most surprising was the human remains. Most of the people from the village had parasites in their kidneys, including a species of worm that can grow to nearly 1 meter long. These monsters likely came from their daily diet, which included raw fish, frogs, and shellfish found in the bog. According to Professor Piers Mitchell from the University of Cambridge, the lead author of the study, we found many types of deadly parasites that had been incredibly well preserved. These include fish tapeworms and echinostoma worms that cause anemia, as well as the giant kidney worm. These monsters, which can quickly kill their host. The dogs kept in the village were also victims of these parasites, indicating that both the people and their pets shared the same diet. The reason the bog village has been called the Pompeii of England is due to its remarkable construction and lifestyle organization, which was advanced for 3,000 years ago. Additionally, like Pompeii, an ancient Roman city destroyed in a volcanic eruption 2,000 years ago, the village was also wiped out by fire. During previous surveys, archaeologists found many types of finely crafted jewelry and tools, showing that the people of the village were advanced in craftsmanship. The Lindow Man mummy. The Lindow Man mummy is one of the most significant archaeological discoveries in Britain, found in 1984 at the Lindow Moss Peat Bog in Cheshire, England. This is the remains of a male, around 20 years old, who lived during the 1st century AD in the early period of the Roman Empire. The discovery was not only remarkable due to the excellent preservation of the body, but also because of the injuries found on the victim's body, which raised numerous theories about the cause of death and ancient rituals. When the mummy was excavated, archaeologists discovered several clear signs of violence on the young man's body. He showed evidence of strangulation, a blow to the head that caused a piece of his skull to penetrate the brain, and a cut throat. These wounds suggest that his death may have been the result of an execution or a sacrificial ritual, consistent with the Celtic customs in the region at the time. Scientists believe that his death may have been related to religious rituals, where young individuals may have been sacrificed to pray for prosperity or appease the gods. Another interesting point is that carbon-14 isotope studies revealed that the man had eaten a meal of grains and bread just before his death. These foods, which remained in his stomach, not only provide insights into the diet of people in this period, but also help pinpoint the time of death, which was in the spring or early summer of 100 to 200 AD. The Lindow Man is an invaluable asset in understanding the customs, beliefs, and life of the ancient Celts. The excellent preservation of the body, along with the marks on it, has helped archaeologists and researchers gain a clearer understanding of the society, wars, and particularly the religious rituals of the time, which is certainly not an exaggeration. Issue a 3,000-year-old golden bowl. During an excavation in Ebreichsdorf, south of Vienna, Austria, scientists discovered a 3,000-year-old golden bowl. The bowl is decorated with a sun motif and rays, making it the first artifact of its kind to be found in Austria. The excavation in Ebreichsdorf began in September 2019, where scientists uncovered an ancient settlement that existed from 1300 to 1000 BC. They believe the site is associated with the cremation grave culture, a culture linked to cremation rituals. The bowl was found near the wall of an ancient house. It is made from very thin metal pieces, composed of about 90% gold, 5% silver, and 5% copper. Inside the bowl, there was a coil of gold and traces of organic material, likely once a piece of cloth sewn with golden thread. The research team believes this piece of cloth was a decorative scarf used in religious ceremonies to worship the sun. Dr. Michał Sip, an archaeologist at Novatus, stated, "The discovery of this 3,000-year-old hidden treasure is truly remarkable. We immediately began the conservation of the intricately decorated golden bowl, the coil of gold, and the remaining piece of cloth due to their importance to the European region." Rare treasure from 800 years ago. Not long ago, a historian and metal detectorist in the Netherlands discovered a highly valuable treasure containing sparkling gold and silver in a medieval bog that dates back 800 years. This treasure includes 4 gold pendants, 2 gold leaf strips, and 39 silver coins. Experts believe that these lavish jewelry items may have belonged to a wealthy and powerful figure from the medieval period. Lorenzo Ruter, the person who unearthed the treasure, mentioned that the silver coins found had various designs. Some were locally produced in the early 13th century, while others bore the marks of the Holy Roman Empire. The most recent coin dates from the late 1240s, coinciding with a period of war in the region. This might explain why the owner buried such valuable assets. During times of constant conflict and war, with no banks to protect wealth, the simplest solution was to bury it. Archaeologists at the National Museum of Antiquities in the Netherlands are still investigating the gold pieces to determine the time and location of their creation. 2,000-year-old intact shoes. A research team from the Monument Preservation Office in Lower Austria, along with the excavation company Denkmal 3D from Vechta, Germany, recently discovered an ancient leather shoe buried in a bog in Lower Saxony, Germany. The 2,000-year-old shoe resembles a closed-toe sandal with leather straps that connect the two sides. In addition, the archaeological team also found a wooden path from the Late Bronze Age, made from several planks of wood to allow people to cross the bog safely, as well as a broken wheel axle. Piecing together the finds, experts speculate that someone lost the shoe in the bog while replacing a broken axle on a cart as they crossed the wooden path. The wheel axle belongs to a wooden cart, possibly drawn by livestock, that broke in half, causing the cart to crash. When the accident happened, or when attempting to fix the cart, the shoe's owner may have fallen or stepped off the wooden path, causing the shoe to get stuck in the mud. The acidic conditions in the bog contributed to the preservation of the materials. Earlier in May, workers also unearthed a 1,000-year-old wooden path while installing a heating system in the city of Dortmund, Germany. The path, dating back to the medieval period, helped carts pass through the swampy area. It survived because it was buried under a layer of clay. Historically, using wood to construct roads through boggy regions was common, but since the structures were made of wood, they were easily damaged and difficult to preserve. The newly discovered leather shoe could be the oldest in northern Germany, but the oldest shoe in the world, dating back 5,500 years, was found in a cave in Armenia in relatively good condition, with the laces still intact. This 5,000-year-old shoe, made from cowhide and stitched with leather thread, was likely worn by a woman, and it was intentionally buried in the cave as part of a mysterious ritual. The 8-million-year-old forest. After several days of excavation in the Bukobrani region in northeastern Hungary, archaeologists revealed the mysterious forest of cypress trees growing in a swamp and announced the discovery in 2007. In the natural environment of the swamp, it is common for tree trunks to become buried and turn into coal over time. However, deep within the earth, archaeologists found 16 tree trunks that had been preserved in the exact location where they had grown 8 million years ago, remarkably well preserved in their original shape and wooden material. Archaeologists said that to view these ancient tree trunks, one must descend about 60 meters into a 3,500 square meter excavation site. The remaining tree trunks here have diameters ranging from 2 to 3 meters and are about 6 meters tall, although the original swamp cypress trees would have been between 30 and 40 meters high. During the geological period known as the Miocene, which began over 10 million years ago, this area was covered by a vast lake along with mud and swamps. This was the Pannonian Sea. The special preservation of the tree trunks was due to a sudden sandstorm, which covered the forest with a thick layer of sand up to 6 meters deep. While the upper parts of the tree trunks were gradually destroyed over time, the parts buried under the sand were perfectly preserved. These 8-million-year-old tree trunks still feel like wood when touched. Since they are buried 60 meters underground, they have not been displaced, and they were not damaged by exposure to air and sunlight, two factors that typically harm the longevity of wood. However, the Bukobrani swamp cypress trees are becoming dry and rigid due to the loss of cellulose, which serves as the adhesive for the cells in plant membranes. The organic material in these tree trunks will be sent for age testing. By studying the growth rings of the trunks, scientists will be able to determine climate changes throughout the tree's lifespan. Dear friends, the world is full of wonders and mysteries that remain unsolved, puzzling researchers and scholars. The discoveries mentioned above are just a tiny fraction compared to the countless other findings out there. However, we hope these discoveries today provide you with a new experience of human knowledge. Thank you for watching the video. If you found it interesting, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss other exciting discoveries. For now, goodbye and see you next time.